As the 2025 NBA Eastern Conference Finals unfold, one question is hanging in the air over Madison Square Garden. How long can the New York Knicks rely on a starting unit that's actively hindering their championship aspirations? On paper, the Knicks should be one of the most formidable teams in the league. Jalen Brunson is a dynamic floor general. Karl-Anthony Towns adds an elite scoring punch in the post. OG Anunoby brings lockdown defense. Mikal Bridges is a two-way star, and Josh Hart provides grit and versatility. Together, they form a unit packed with individual talent that could challenge anyone. Yet, when the ball tips off, something goes wrong. The collective failure of this starting five is preventing New York from living up to its potential. And it's becoming increasingly clear that if the Knicks are to make a serious run at the title, major changes are needed. In the Game 2 loss to the Indiana Pacers on Friday night, a 114-109 defeat that left the Knicks down 2-0 in the series, it wasn't the Pacers' high-octane offense or clutch shooting that buried New York. Instead, it was the glaring issues with the Knicks starting unit that once again proved to be their Achilles heel. A familiar issue. The starters aren't getting it done. This isn't an isolated incident. Over the course of the postseason, the Knicks starters have been underperforming. Through the first two games of this series, New York's starting unit has a combined -29 rating. A mere 8-point deficit across two games speaks volumes about how critical the opening moments of the contest have been. The Knicks are failing to establish dominance early, and that's putting them in too deep of a hole to climb out of in the latter stages of the game. When head coach Tom Thibodeau was asked about potential lineup changes following Friday's loss, he offered a grim answer. "We always look at everything." While he didn't commit to any drastic changes, it's hard to ignore the underlying message. This isn't the first time the starters have been a liability. Against Detroit and Boston in the opening two rounds of the playoffs, the Knicks starting five was outscored by a combined 21 points, with a -24 rating against the Celtics. If you expand that to the regular season, New York's starting lineup had a net rating of -1.4, and they were outscored by 9 points over 379 minutes together from January 1st through the end of the season. As the Knicks starters continue to falter, the blame inevitably falls on the defensive side of the ball. For all their talent, the starting lineup has a defensive rating of 117.6, which is the worst of all five-player lineups that have played 30 minutes or more in the playoffs. For context, the Phoenix Suns ranked 27th in the regular season with a defensive rating of 117.7, right on par with the Knicks' struggling first unit. The numbers don't lie. Poor communication and blown coverages have become routine. The Knicks are consistently giving up easy looks and letting opponents break down their defense with relative ease. Hart, usually the calming presence in tough moments, admitted that the Knicks need to find things that spark us and acknowledge that their mental focus isn't where it needs to be. "It's tough when you keep putting yourself in a hole," Hart said. If the Knicks want to salvage their championship hopes, it's clear they need a change. The solution might not be as simple as swapping out one player for another, but the numbers don't lie. The best lineup New York has put on the floor this postseason is Brunson, McBride, Bridges, Anunoby, and Robinson. This five-man unit has a staggering net rating of +34.3, dominating in 34 minutes together. The next best group, Brunson, McBride, Hart, Anunoby, Robinson, has a nearly identical net rating of +34.2. The Knicks have options, but they need to be willing to pull the trigger. While the starting five continues to struggle, it's clear that bench players like McBride and Robinson offer more balance and defensive stability. Their presence in the lineup helps to shore up the defensive lapses that have plagued the starters, and is something that could provide the Knicks with the spark they desperately need. Brunson, as always, is trying to keep things in perspective, acknowledging the stakes. "We're in the conference finals, Nothing else matters right now, he said. The mental focus has to be there. There's no question about it. For the Knicks to continue their journey toward a championship, the mental lapses need to stop. The defense needs to tighten up, and the starting unit has to find a way to mesh. It's now or never for this group, and they're running out of time to get it right.